Hello everyone, very good morning. Welcome to the course on Basics of Computing. This video is substitution video for the first lesson in Unit 3, Problem Solving with Computers. We assume that you have already seen the video on SPAM platform. Since we have some technical problem, after some slides, we cannot play the video. So to give additional video, this video will be substituted as a short video about the lesson. Let me give a fast run over the lesson with the existing slides. We recommend first you just go with the video available on the SPAM, then play this video, and additionally we also provided the PPT for this lesson. You can also refer it. Let me go with the PPT in quicker way. We have already seen what is problem solving with the computer. Problem solving with computer is simply creating a software for a specific application or automating a particular task. And we have also seen in the problem solving, we are aiming to create a program. What is program? Program is a set of unambiguous instruction written in some programming language. And using this programming language, we can get the input, we can do some manipulation, we can create some output for the given problem, and we are aiming with minimal number of instruction. Generally program can be referred as is a combination of algorithm and data structure. And to write any program, we are initially starting with algorithm. So algorithm is not depend on any specific programming language. It is a sequence of computational steps written in English or specific descriptive pseudocodes. So we have already discussed in the previous first part of the video. Let me go with the current slide where we have stuck. We have algorithm requirements. In the algorithm requirements, we have already discussed depth of understanding, logical precision, careful planning, and minimal number of steps. The minimal number of steps is the algorithm designer ability to design the algorithm which gives a solution with minimal number of steps for getting the solution by your program. And faster execution, when we are writing the program using your algorithm, the program should take minimal number of processing speed so that you can get the answer in a quicker way. And also in our program we can use many data, and these data can be stored in many locations. For these locations, data locations, we need to have some data structure. This data structure gives a particular organization structure of the data to be stored on my memory. So when I'm considering any programming language for a particular instruction, I have to decide which type of data structure to be followed so that the computation process will be very faster, and also it should take minimal number of memory slots. In the problem solving, initially we are discussing what are the various aspects of problem solving. That means a major important point we need to consider in the problem solving techniques while writing the algorithm. Generally, the problem solving is a creative process. It is not actually a technical based, pure technical based. We should also should have some logical thinking, and it is like art creative process, and actually it deals with automation of or mechanization of the given problem into the form of some program. For example, you can have students information system. The student information system actually automate the process of calculating all the student related process, and it gives some solution to the students manipulation process. The number of steps in the computer solution is based on the problem solving skills of a person. That means you are the problem designer. You may have better understanding about the particular problem. You can also have better understanding about the programming knowledge. The programming knowledge will give various idea about the instruction to be used in my program. So if you have well based with the programming knowledge and well understanding about the problem, you can have different skills of problem solving. You can have different types of set of steps. Suppose some other person, he actually don't know the technical point of program, but he know the problem, he can understand the problem, but he may think in a different way. He can give different steps to solve the particular same problem. So the actual number of steps in the computer solution is based on the designer, solution designer, and we are not following universal method. Everybody can use their own set of skills, and we can get different types of process. So when we are going for problem solving phase, the problem solving phase gives the step by step idea to be used, to be followed, so that the process will be quicker and you can get a better solution for the given problem. So generally we are defining this problem solving phases. You can apply these phases to any particular problem. This particular phases are four in number. The first phase in any problem solving process is defining the problem. Number two, identifying the initial module of the solution. Number three, using set of specific example. Number four, understanding the similarities among various problems. Let me go for each and every phases. The first phase in the problem solving is defining the problem. Defining the problem means when the problem is given, we should understand what are the actual inputs we have to give and what is the actual manipulation or process to be taken by our solution. And finally, what type of output to be given to the user by the software. So we should understand first three part, this first thing, and we should also understand how the problem works or manipulates. So if you're understanding the problem in a proper way, you can give a proper solution. For that, we are going for defining that particular problem, so that the definition may give a clear idea about the problem, and this definition can be given to all phases of software development, so that everybody can follow the unique definition and unique understanding will be there. So if you are having better understanding, you can give a better solution. The problem definition phase actually defines what must be done rather than how to do it. That means we are not bothering about how we are going for the work, but what are the works to be carried out by the solution for the particular problem. We are just identifying what are the things to be done, and we are not bothering about how they are to be done. And as output of this definition phase, we can get a problem statement. Actually, this problem statement are set of precisely defined tasks. As we said, we are identifying what are the tasks to be done, and based on the set of tasks, we can define the problem statement. This statement can be referred by the person at any stage of software development, and we should give extra care because it can be followed by many persons, many software designers. And problem definition phase make the algorithm writing easier. That means if you are defining the problem in a proper way, you can get better algorithm. And we'll take one example how to define the problem. For example, I want to give the solution for finding square root of the given number. And here the problem definition will be like this. The square root of n, that is the output of your problem, will be like the input is n and I want to get the square root of n, right? So for that we have to write some program instruction. For that program instruction, how to define the particular problem. So I can define the square root such a way that n into m equal to, sorry, n into n equal to m. So n is the input, m is the output. So it is simply defined a statement or equation, and this equation correspondingly we can write as a program instruction. So we should understand here as the square root is nothing but multiplication of the same number. That's a meaning. That's a definition. So based on this definition, we have to write the instruction written in the programming language. The second example, finding greatest common divisor. It can be defined as the GCD, greatest common divisor of any two integer is the largest integer that will divide exactly into two integer. Like this, we can go for the definition of any problem which gives the problem statement, which is nothing but set of precisely defined tasks. And in the second phase, we have identifying the initial module. And what is initial module? So when we are going for a problem solution, the problem solution may be like a multiple module. We can have a lot of larger set of program can be divided into small pieces of program. That small pieces of program can be referred as module. And initially what to do, initially how to start it, how the program can be started, that will be referred as initial module. And single problem may have many solutions and difficult to recognize quickly which path are useful and which are useless. That means the same problem you can have multiple solution, and multiple solution can have multiple path, different path based on the design, and we cannot define which are to be useful and which are not to be useful. So for this case, we have to define the initial module which gives back to start on the problem. And what can we do? And also it gives the various implementation strategies which people may worried about the detailed implementation. And if you are having better initial module, we can have better solution so that the complex may be reduced. So the third phase is using specific example. So initially we have defined the problem and we have started, we have created the initial model, and now we have to check with initial sample example. That means we can go for some realistic problem, and for the realistic example we can take a real-time solution. We are not going for automated computer solution. We are taking the initial module along with the real-time solution, and in the real-time solution we can check what is the actual input and how we are getting the output, and based on the output we can go for the solution. So this give, when we start, we use some properties to get a solution for the problem. We are going for actual real-time problem, and we are just working out the mechanism to get the solution, so that we can give the idea to the algorithm with the various instructions. The solution to a specific problem is a solution to the general problem. That means uh, for example, we are taking addition of two number. We are taking one example, 10 plus 10 can be like 20. So 10 plus 10 is the input and 20 is the output for the addition problem. So this is like a specific problem. And this can be generalized to like A plus B equal to C, or C equal to A plus B. So we can generalize any specific solution to generalized solutions. For that, we have to go for specification of a particular problem should be checked carefully to ensure the algorithm's correctness. And we are also going for some geometrical or schematic representation of the given problem which gives the solution. So as a last and fourth one, understanding the similarities among problems. This gives a clear picture about generalized solution. That means we can have some solution already that might have already given, or we can have already some software or program which gives some solution for some other problem, and that problem maybe some part or complete part can match with our current problem. The idea is already we have some software which solves some other problem, and that problem may be partially or completely match with our current problem, and from this existing solution we can take either complete solution or partial solution so that our problem can be solved. So this is nothing but using our past experience. And initially we are checking whether we are matching with any particular portion or complete solution of the existing problem with our current problem. If it is available, we can take the part or complete solution to our current problem also. That is the meaning of understanding the similarities among problems. So same mechanism may be used for similar problems. So here we have simple example. We are finding the highest salaried person in the department. So let me imagine already we have one solution, one problem, that is which calculates the highest mark in the class for the specific subject. So the same logic can be applied here also, which calculates the highest salaried person in the department. There also one department, here we have one class. In one department, multiple persons, salaried persons will be there. Here also multiple students will be there, and among multiple salary person we need to calculate highest salary. Here already there is multiple students, among this we have multiple marks. Among the multiple marks we are calculating the highest mark. For highest mark calculation we have solution. The same solution can be used for calculating the highest salary person, and we are going for independent solution for each and every problem. So another important aspect we have to consider is working backwards from the solution. That means we can have some starting conditions, and also we have some results. So we want to find out the actual process to be taken care. So this process is referred as working backwards. With the initial and result, we are just finding out the starting position. That is whatever attempts that we make to get started on the problem, we are writing down various steps and explorations we made, so that we can understand the various path from the result to the input solution. So we need to systemize all our investigation to avoid duplication, and among various paths we are selecting the best solution once the problem is solved. And this solution can be given as the best solution, and by practice only we can get this working backwards from the solution. And here okay, we have decided to write an algorithm for the given problem, and we have defined like what are the that is we have defined the problem, and we have started with the initial module, and also we have taken some example, and from the example we have started all the work. And how to go for this complete solution, in what way these modules can be arranged or defined. For that there are some already existing standard strategies are followed all over the world for the computer problem solution. Here we are just discussing some basic strategies uh, which are followed all over world for the solution. So the problem solving strategies, actually the computational approaches which are general and most powerful repeatedly used approaches, and it is easy to face the problem in terms of these strategies. The some examples are divide and conquer method, binary doubling method, a dynamic programming method, and these basic or standard problem solving strategies will give or will easier our definition phase or algorithm writing phase. In dynamic program, further it is divided into backtracking, branch and bound, greedy method. All these ideas can be further discussed in the data structures and algorithm logic programs. You have forthcoming subjects to discuss and to explore. There you can have these actual strategies with some algorithms and procedures. Also, you can write some programs. Let me go a quicker discussion about each and every strategies. The first one, divide and conquer. The title itself, we are dividing the problem and conquering the solution. That means dividing one large complex problem into multiple sub problems, and we are finding the solution for each and sub problems. And after finding the sub problem solution, and finally they can be just combined or conquered. That's a meaning. And each sub problem can be divided such that further it cannot be divided. That's another important point. And we are taking the applications such that sorting, searching, and selection algorithms. There, the sorting or searching algorithms can be divided into further small module, and again that problem sub problem can be further divided into sub problem, so that you can get the solution for the minimal problem or initial problem. Further, the solutions can be combined together and we are getting the final solution for the larger problem. So the best example is merge sorting algorithm. In forthcoming subjects, we can discuss about this merge. Binary doubling is nothing but the process in reverse, which is divide and conquer method is simply applied in the reverse form. That means the current term or the next term, which is to be calculated as n, is computed in terms of the current term, which is the function of n by 2. So currently we have the value of n by 2, and in the next iteration, the next term n is calculated. That's the meaning of binary doubling. So every current item will be double in the next iteration. That's the idea. It actually avoids the generating intermediate terms. The computational efficiency is more because we are adding some set of unnecessary computation process, so that the computational complexity will be improved. The next one is dynamic programming. This dynamic programming is very simple and easy step. That is, again, we are taking a solution to a problem can be viewed as the result of sequence of decision. That means the larger program can be taken into multiple decisions. We are taking one decision, that output of that decision can be given to the next decision. That's called dynamic programming. And solution to large problem can be built up from good or optimal solution of small problems. We are using optimization technique. Further, it can be optimized and operation research processes, so that the dynamic programming decisions can be improved and the overall solution will be the better solution. So in dynamic program, again, we have greedy method, branch and bound, backtracking. So backtracking is nothing but during search, if invisible solution is sensed, then go back or backtrack to the previous node and again apply a new type of solution which gives the feasible solution. Example, simple example, we can play chess game. During the chess move, we can make a move of 8 queens problem. The 8 queens problem will be like one chessboard with 8 queens. Every queen, they have their own powers. They can move any direction. When we are going for one move, if suppose there is a problem, we can have some problem in that move. Again, we can go back to the same previous move location, and from that location I can check any other move which give the feasible solution. That is called backtracking. And branch bound, it is nothing but again we are taking multiple branches, and each branch we have splitting procedure. That means the whole algorithm can be splitted into multiple blocks, And to reach the blocks, we can go for branching concept. If one branch gives the solution, better solution, we can take the branch. Otherwise, we can try with the next branch. That is called branch and bound concept. Bound refers to computing the upper and lower bounds. That is, we are taking one branch, and for that branch, we are applying lower and higher boundaries, and for that boundaries, we can get the solution. The better example is knapsack problem. Again, this problem can be detailedly discussed in the data structure subject. The third one is greedy method. Find the feasible solution from the set of solution for the given problem. That is again from the multiple solution we can take the better solution. For that we can apply the greedy method. So these are the some of the example for the better strategies. Uh, our recommendation is you just follow the book called How to Solve It by Computer by R.J. Drumi. The units 3, 4, and 5 will completely follow the book, and all the problem discussed in unit 3, 4, 5, and all are available in the book. Kindly refer the PDF or the hard copy of the book. Hereafter, we are going for sample problems. We are taking the sample problems and we are identifying the solution. We are applying step-by-step procedure, whatever we discussed in the problem solving, like applying the 4 strategies. The first strategy will be like problem definition. Second one will be like initial module. Third one, taking some example and finding the similarities. All 4 strategies phases will be followed in each and every problem. So we recommend that book and also the material. So in this session, it is short session about the problem solving idea. So the main idea is we have to apply the phases, different phases of problem solving, and while solving the problem, we can follow any one problem solving strategies like divide and conquer or backtracking or dynamic programming logics. We additionally gave one link, which is actually our server link for the original video of Swayam platform. If it is accessible, you just see the video. This current video is no needed. If the video is not accessible, you can just view the video and understand the thing. We also additionally we have provided the PPT as well, the material in quadrant 2. Thank you guys. Wish you all the best.